Have you ever really stopped to think about what happens inside your body when you decide to quit junk food? Not just on the scale, but deep down biologically. Well, we're about to dive into that. We're going to go on a 30-day journey to see exactly how your system can reset itself, from your brain right down to your gut. Okay, first things first, let's ask a question you've probably asked yourself, while staring at an empty bag of chips. Why is it that some foods are just impossible to stop eating? I mean, you can take or leave a carrot, but that cookie? It's a different story. And the answer? It has very little to do with willpower and everything to do with your biology. The reason is your brain has been hijacked. Now, I know that sounds super dramatic, right? But the science behind it is absolutely fascinating. And honestly, understanding this hijack is the very first step to taking back the controls. So, let's get right into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on what we're calling the ultra-processed hijack and really understand this science of what makes those cravings feel so powerful. Right, so let's be really clear about what we're up against here. We're not just talking about food in the way you might think of it. Ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, are, well, they're more like industrial formulations. These are products that have been engineered from the ground up with specific textures and flavors, all designed for one single purpose: to be intensely rewarding. And these formulations, they have a very specific target in mind. They're aiming straight for the most ancient, most primitive part of your brain, your reward center. See, this was never really about giving you nutrition. It's all about engineering a very specific biological response inside you. And the bullseye of that target is a little region called the nucleus accumbens. The easiest way to think about this, it's the "oh yeah, do that again" center of your brain. It's the part that releases a chemical called dopamine, which is basically your brain's way of saying, hey, that felt good, let's remember to do it again, and soon. And this right here, this perfectly illustrates the hijack in action. So when you eat a natural food, say an apple, you get a nice, normal, balanced little release of dopamine. It feels good. But a UPF, that's engineered to trigger a massive, overwhelming artificial spike. It's like the difference between someone humming a pleasant tune and a rock concert blasting right in your ear. Your brain simply cannot ignore that signal. So, the big question is, how do you turn down all that biological noise? Well, let's look at the first 2 weeks of our 30-day reset. This is the period where your brain starts the incredible process of reclaiming its own controls. Okay, these first 2 weeks are absolutely crucial. And yeah, they can be tough. In that first week, your poor, overstimulated dopamine system finally gets a break. It starts to recalibrate from all those artificial highs. And then, in week 2, something really amazing starts to happen. Your body's own internal communication network, it starts to come back online. More specifically, this is the time when your hunger signals, the very things that are supposed to tell you when you're hungry and when you're full, they actually start to normalize. It means that maybe for the first time in a long time, you can actually start to trust what your body is trying to tell you. And it's all thanks to these two key players. Meet leptin, that's the hormone that's supposed to say, all right, kitchen's closed, we're full. And then there's ghrelin, that's the one that says, hey, stomach's rumbling, time to eat. You can think of them as the gatekeepers of your appetite. You see, the constant dopamine chaos from UPFs completely messes with the signals from leptin and ghrelin. It's like there's just too much static on the line. But after just a couple of weeks without that interference, they can finally do their jobs right. And here's the bottom line. You start feeling genuinely hungry and genuinely full again. That's a huge deal. All right, so now that the brain's control panel is coming back online, the body can finally shift its resources to another supercritical area. In the second half of the month, the mission changes. It becomes all about rebuilding your system from the inside out. And it all starts with your gut. And you have to understand, this connection is just so important. A brain that isn't constantly screaming for the next reward, well, it sends much calmer signals all through the body. And that creates the perfect conditions for your gut microbiome, that whole universe of tiny organisms in your digestive system, to start a major restoration project. And this restoration, it basically happens in 3 stages. First, the unwanted microbes, the ones that were thriving on all those ultra-processed ingredients, they start to die off. This allows the actual lining of your gut, which might have been inflamed, to finally start healing itself. And then that healing creates the perfect home for the good guys, the beneficial microbes, to really move in and flourish. And let me tell you, this is where you really start to feel the difference day to day. A restored gut isn't just some abstract idea. It means more stable energy, so you're not hitting that 3 p.m. wall anymore. It means better mood regulation, because that gut-brain connection is finally sending happy signals. And it means you're building a much, much stronger foundation for your health in the long run. So, you make it through the 30 days. Where are we now? What's happened? You've basically gone through a profound biological reset. You've established a completely new, natural baseline for your body. I mean, if we had to boil it all down, it would be this. The brain is no longer hijacked. The gut is restored. It's that simple and that powerful. You've literally shifted your entire system from a state of constant disruption back to one of natural, easy balance. So let's just quickly recap that incredible transformation. In just 30 days, what have you done? You have recalibrated your brain's entire reward system. You've stabilized your hunger hormones so they're working for you, not against you. And you've restored the health and diversity of your gut microbiome. That's a total overhaul. And what all this really means at the end of the day is that you are back in the driver's seat. You have reclaimed the controls of your own biology. Food is no longer this thing that's controlling you. It's just food again. And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question of all. Your biology is reset. It's back to its natural state. The controls are yours again. So, what are you going to do next?